it stresses me out because I feel like I'm never going to find my true passion. What would you advise me on that? Thank you.
It's a great question. My perspective on this is it's no different than kissing a bunch of frogs until you find your prince. No different than dating or friendships. You know, all of us at this point watching this video have gone through friendships and potentially relationships, and the reality is some new kid moves in 4th grade, you think you're gonna be friends, the first couple days are good, and then the 3rd day she or he shows you that they're not a nice person and you walk away, which is fine. No different than interests and passions. You know, the reality is that I went skiing once back, 15 years ago, and it was fine. I kind of liked it. I was surprised I was decent by the 3rd day, but it wasn't a passion of mine, and it's not something I want to allocate instead of going garage sailing. That's okay. You're also extremely young, and the reality is that I wouldn't beat yourself up or overjudge yourself just because you didn't fall in love with cooking or being a yoga teacher or being into concrete manufacturing. The reality is you still haven't found it. That's awesome. There's nothing wrong with that. You're getting judged by people who've settled. This is an incredibly important point in our society. Normally, the people that will cast judgment on someone who's still trying to explore are people who themselves settled without exploring and are subconsciously deploying misery loves company. Just to give you context of what just happened, that just sucked the air out of the room with my team behind this camera because it's such a profound point that I've not really made this articulately, and it's very important for all of you. If you continue to be fighting to find your happiness and you find yourself getting judgment from your inner circle, I promise you, many of them just gave up and they are envious, and subconsciously, they're good people. These are your parents, these are your best friends, these are your siblings. They're not intending to be mean, tear you down, stop you, conform you into settling like they did, but that's exactly what they're doing, so that there be no confusion. Your inner circle, society, is incredibly subconsciously interested in you conforming. Don't.
How do you think is the best way for us to get over the fear of failing at this? Because it's kind of taking a leap. We're currently an in-house marketing department for a 21 chain retail store.
I think you guys need, if you guys are taking a leap, you guys are rounding the troops and saying, screw this place, we're going to do our thing. You've got to first decide, here are the ways to do it. You do the emotional and the practical when you take a leap. The practical is, how many of you are doing it?
3.
The 3 of you have to figure out, worst case scenario, nothing goes well, how long can you survive on your savings, or you're willing to be entrepreneurial ghetto? Got it?
Yeah.
So the 3 of you need to sit in a circle and you go, India, how long can you last? And India says 18 months. Andrew, how long can you last? 4 months. Andy, how long can you last? 2 years. We know we're only as strong as our weakest link. Goddamn Andrew's only got 4 months. So we have to talk about that. Number 1, do you think that the 3 of you can go without any sales for a year?
Yeah. Well, the good thing is we have investors from the company that got behind us, and they're like, we kind of have a safety net a little bit if it fails.
So great. It sounds like you created the practical version, and now you just have to make the emotional version. Too many people, and you know I've been talking about this, fake entrepreneurship. If you're scared to make the jump, you still have entrepreneurial tendencies. You're not an entrepreneur yet. It's why you worked in a company in the first place. You just got to make the jump or not. It's like swimming. You either jump in the pool and you go, or you don't. The end.
Yeah, definitely. And then that's kind of my fear, because we're just starting this. It's kind of new frontier, and
dude, you can't be. Dude, don't be scared. Nothing's gonna happen. You can always go back to the goddamn job.
Yeah.
I mean, what's gonna happen? Like, people are gonna make fun of you? Like, your mom's gonna say you failed? Like, who gives a shit? Go try it. Doesn't work, and go. Don't care what other people think. It's the only reason you're scared.
Yep.
Whether it's your spouse, your partner, your child, your mother, whoever it is. Eliminate those voices, listen to yourself, and know that if you fail, you go back into it and nothing bad will happen. But if you win, it's the greatest shit that ever happened. Way the world is working with internet content, there is so much content. You could never oversaturate the market, even if you made 90 pieces of content a day about yourself. But this is why I went over here as I'm talking. The interesting part of why most of you are not producing enough content has a hell of a lot more to do with this than with this. We are crippled by other people's opinions. You're not posting because you want shit to be perfect. Why do you want it to be perfect? Because you're fucking insecure. You know why? Because it just ruins your day when Fat Pants 86 leaves a comment and says that you're stupid, right? You're just super sad when you post something and you're used to getting 89 likes, but this one got 62. I have become outrageously fascinated by something over the last 2 years, which is, oh my God, the majority of people live their lives based on other people's opinions. Whether it's their parents, older sibling, or even worse, the current state, the anonymous person in their YouTube comments. That sucks. It's hard for me to hear the booing because I don't hear the cheering. I'm very big on that. I think it really matters. I think it starts at a young age. I've been spending a lot of time on what we cheer for our children become their framework. If we cheer that they're so good looking, they start to find value in their looks and become vulnerable in their 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s. If we cheer for their sports acumen and like they're gonna be a pro and then they're not, they're lost at 22. Here's the scary one. If we cheer about their grades, we teach them to conform to systems that judge them every 90 days. That one scares me to no end. I will definitely be exploring that. This is the first time you've heard it. I'm in the lab working on this one. If we teach our kids to do good every 90 days by the subjective nature of a system, the current academic system, and a subjective notion of the teacher deciding them to give them an A and a B based on class participation, we are teaching them to conform to the system. And then they become those humans. So I think what we cheer for, my mom cheered for two things. No, my mom cheered for one thing and then the world cheered for a thing. As a child, I was booed for my sports acumen, my scholastic acumen, and anything else, my look, whatever. And though my mom told me I was the best looking at all the time. But my mom cheered when I was a nice kid, and the world cheered for me when I did business. When I sold lemonade and sports cards, the world told me I was good. My mom told me I was good when I was nice to people, not because of my grades. And I'm a 46-year-old, obnoxiously successful businessman who pushes kindness. I don't think that's by accident. I think for all of us, we need to think about, as managers, as leaders, and definitely as parents, what do you cheer for? I think Vayner has a great culture because I'm more often cheering a C-suite or an SVP for how they handle the situation from an emotional standpoint, more than how much money they brought in.